I like that there's actual you can hear actual crickets chirping. That's awesome. Um,
And then I'm sure she'll take questions after, right? Or
yeah. So hopefully, I know she has a call 6 o'clock Pacific time, so 9 o'clock. But if you have questions, drop them down, and I will work them in, or hopefully we'll finish up in time to have those. Oh, there she is. All right. Hi, Jericho. All right. So she is on. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I can't imagine introducing a super trainer from Beachbody. And we're so lucky to have her here. Thank you so much for getting on.
for having me.
Some things that I was looking up as I was kind of preparing for this call and talking about, you might recognize Jericho from the Les Mill program. We're so lucky to have her jump on. And to be one of the creators of the new Core to Force program that I'm sure we're all dying to hear more about. Some of the things I thought was really interesting is that Jericho holds personal training and group fitness certifications, and you can see that kind of in the programs and the way she approaches her classes with an amazing energy, and also has degrees in psychology, something that I feel like might relate to your being so personable, and then physical education and kinesiology. So that's amazing stats. I mean, thousands of followers, Facebook, Instagram, you're sharing your story on a level that we can only imagine. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us.
Absolutely, guys. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was just in a whole lot of traffic making it home, which some of you guys I'm sure deal with sometimes, but I'm here. So I'm really happy to chat with you guys and talk to you a little bit more just about myself and Core to Force. Whatever questions you have, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're so excited. And that's one of those things that I found so inspirational. I was sharing with the group was when you were talking during the opening at Summit and just talking about being a mom and balancing those commitments. And before we kind of dive into all that, I know that when we were talking in Beachbody, we kind of have that tradition of telling your story. And I think that has a lot to do with your motivation. So can you tell us how you first got involved with fitness and how that journey led you to come to Beachbody and create this program?
Absolutely. Yeah. To be honest, it was a little bit of an accident for me. I come from a really musical family. So my dad was a country music songwriter, and I was born in Nashville. So I think some of you guys heard that when I was talking about my background in Nashville. My brother is a drummer, and I've always had music in my blood. So dancing is kind of where my true fitness background started. And, I played sports through high school and college, and really just got into fitness when I started teaching dance fitness classes. So I started teaching hip hop at an all women's gym. And then, a lot of you guys know I worked with Les Mills a lot, Les Mills certification. So I was an international trainer for them. And the way that started is the club that I was working for when I started my, college career started bringing in Les Mills programs. So I got certified to teach Body Pump and some of their other formats. And then, actually I thought, as you mentioned, I studied psychology, and I was planning on going into working with psychology full-time in schools with education, but ended up really just falling in love with fitness. So I was personal training at the time, teaching a lot of group fitness classes, and just really fell in love with helping people become healthier, and just love the way that it made me feel as well. So picked up phys ed and kinesiology alongside psychology, and the opportunity came to become an international trainer with Les Mills right after I finished studying and graduating college. So I jumped on that because it was, I was in my 20s, and it was such a cool opportunity to travel. And I traveled all over the States and ended up traveling all over the world. And I spent 10 years doing that, and it was a lot of fun. And was living in New York for about 5 years, and came back out to California before my husband and I were married. We moved back in 2010. And that's right around the time that Beachbody and Les Mills joined forces, and I was asked to be a part of Les Mills Pump. So some of you guys are familiar with Les Mills Pump, but I filmed those workouts, and it was a really fun collaboration, just bringing the whole group fitness world together with the home fitness world. And For those people that are wondering like why that happened, I think for one thing, no one does home fitness better than Beachbody, especially here in the US. And so for, group fitness was a new territory for Beachbody, and live group fitness classes in health clubs. So that was kind of a territory that Beachbody hadn't really gone towards. So them working together was a really cool thing, and cross-pollinating, so to speak. And then I was, very involved with Les Mills Combat. So I represented that. And those were two programs that I was a master trainer for as well. So I traveled a lot and worked with those programs. And yeah, it was really sad. I was bummed out when we got the news that they weren't going to continue making programs together, but everything obviously worked out. And something I did stuck because I got a phone call a couple years later and they wanted me to come back. So it was at a time in my life that, I was actually really looking for a new challenge and something to, there came a point with Les Mills, like I was traveling a lot and loving that, but I got married in September of 2014. So actually 2 years ago this month, and I got pregnant on my wedding night. I was not expecting that to happen. And I traveled so much with Les Mills that it was not something that I wanted to continue doing, especially as a new mom, being away from my baby. So I was looking forward to kind of transitioning my career with fitness into something that would allow me to, I still wanted to travel, but just not like every weekend or every other weekend. And also I really wanted to be creative, and it was just crazy how the universe, just sort of dropped this in my lap. But I got a phone call from the legal team at Beachbody, and they wanted to know kind of where I was with my contracts. I was doing a lot of work with Reebok as well. And they've been amazing. So I still do some stuff with them, but yeah, I just kind of came at the right time. And, so they asked Joel and I to put a workout together, and there had been kind of a need and a want for a while to fill a space in the workout catalog that was high energy. And I think that I remember Carl mentioning something like, we haven't had a really high energy program like Insanity, something that could compare to that for a really long time. And the mixed martial arts inspired workout, they brought in with combat, it ended up being a little bit too choreographed, and they called it dancey, which to me, dancey is something completely different, but they meant, really choreographed to music. So, we were looking to put something together that was more authentic but still really just hard hitting and high intensity. And, so it was just a really exciting challenge to be able to be a part of that. So yeah, I came at the right place at the right time, and I was just, I'm pumped to be here. And, I guess I should mention this too. I think I was around 17 weeks pregnant when they called me. So I honestly thought once I tell them that I'm pregnant, I would probably, you guys heading to the store? Okay, bye. The hubs and my baby, they're going to go to the grocery store. I literally thought they were going to hang up on me. We were like, never mind, when I told them I was pregnant. But it was so cool that they were so accepting and, just awesome about that, because I had no idea what it was going to be like creating a program after having a baby. And yeah, I'll talk more about that, I guess, as we go on. But yeah, that's kind of how I made it to this point.
So that's I appreciate that. And I don't want to keep people waiting too much for quarter fours, because I know there's already hype. I mean, coming off of Summit, everyone was posting about it. But I guess that was one of the questions of how did you find that balance between those new commitments and starting your family and really expanding your family in that sense? Because I think that's something that will really makes you so relatable for coaches and for our challengers too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. For me, like I said, I've been cruising, just really only having to think about I'm not just thinking about myself, but, in terms of fitness, my husband, we've been together for 10 years. He's from Sweden originally, and he actually worked with Les Mills in the Nordic region. So he came to the US in 2005, and we've lived a pretty fun lifestyle, traveling around, working in fitness, and a lot of the jobs, presenting in different conventions and things like that we did together, which has been really cool. And so for us to, find out we're having a baby, and actually he works now for Beachbody as well in the live department with his background and in group fitness programming, they were really excited to create a position for him. So it would have been also kind of strange, I think, for both of us, like one to work with Les Mills and one to work with Beachbody. So we both kind of took this big leap. And what I'm getting at is we were living in Orange County, okay, so which is like an hour and a half south of Santa Monica. My son was born last June. So right as we had our baby, we moved to LA a couple months later, and we both started, like these new jobs. So we had a lot of big life changes happening at one time. And, we just rolled with it, and we don't have any family nearby. His family is all in Sweden. My family is out of town. So big challenges all at once. And all I can say is, like, I just hit the ground running. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, what just happened? A year's flown by, and we made a lot of progress. But balancing it is just, is a whole lot of just, coordinating. Beachbody's been amazing. Carl ordered me a pack and play to keep at the office so that right away after Bex was born, I could just bring him in and get my workouts in and rehearse. And it was a lot. I remember having a meeting with him and Joel and our team just before I had Bex. So it was like mid-June. It was maybe like, I was like a week overdue or something. So I remember them joking that I was probably going to have my baby on the 405 freeway on the way home. But I remember him saying, like, hey, is this a good launch date? Like, what do you think? Can you bounce back in time to do this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I just gave it my all, and we made it through. But I'm telling you, it definitely wasn't easy at times. It was definitely very challenging. And it was a lot to put on my plate at once, but we're here, and I'm so proud of the program that we came up with. So it's very exciting.
All right. Well, can you tell us then more about Core to Force? I know you've probably been talking about it a lot, but people are just wondering what to expect. We have the FAQ, but really coming from you as one of the creators, are there certain people we should be marketing to? Are there, what have you started to see in the results? I know those have been coming in, and there's still different levels of test groups that are happening.
Yes, absolutely. So we definitely, so Joel and I had live test groups at Beachbody headquarters. We were teaching 2 classes a day for 3 months from, January through March. And we saw so many incredible results, and we've just launched I think we're in week 3 now. We just started week 3 of the coach test group. So we've got about 60 people in there, and I can't tell you how amazing the results are, that we're seeing so far. So it's really great. People of all different backgrounds. Something that I think is really cool in this coach test group, we have a lot of new moms, and we have a lot of, not just new moms, we have a lot of moms in the group. And it's very focused on its Core to Force. So with that, I will say it's, there's so much rotational movement that when we're, talking about this from a top sheet level, it's very focused on belly fat, but it's a full body workout. So don't let, core fool you into thinking that you're just working your core, because you work everything. We have in the base kit, we have 4, well, not including BOD, but we have 4 what we call MMA workouts that are consisting of anywhere between 6 and 12 rounds of work. So a round is 3 minutes. So it's compared to a boxing round of work. And we do some kind of mixed martial arts combination. So it could be a combination of kicks and punches, and you do that for 1 minute straight. Then you do a 30-second high intensity conditioning heart rate spike. So we do some kind of simple athletic move that just lifts your heart rate up. Like, it's not burpees, but it could be something like that that's very physically intense. High knee jump rope, or anything that lifts your heart rate up. It's just really simple. Then we jump back into the combination for another 60 seconds. And then we do the spike one more time before you get a 30-second recovery. So what I love about the structure of Core to Force is that you use your brain a little bit, to get going on the fighting combinations. And then you don't have to think at all when you do this high intensity conditioning spike. You're just working at your all out maximum effort, and it just takes you right into the fat burning zone. So your heart rate's going up, you're dripping in sweat, and you're burning fat, and you're just, it's a really awesome feeling. We initially were going to change the second combination within the round, but we found that for people's coordination and for people feeling really successful in the program, we wanted to just stick with one combination so they wouldn't really have to think. The second time you get to the combination, which is, it could be like, a double jab cross and then you roll out of the way. It could be something as simple as that. The second time around, you've already done it for 60 seconds. So you have muscle memory and you're able to push yourself a little bit harder physically and get more out of the moves. Plus, after doing a conditioning spike for 30 seconds, you're really tired and fatigued. So you definitely don't want to be thinking about coordination and trying to learn something new at that point. But it's pretty simple. So it's 60-second combination, 30-second conditioning spike, back to the combination for 60 seconds, 30-second conditioning spike, and then 30-second recovery. So that's one round. And we do that anywhere between 6 and 12 rounds as you progress through the program. And we also have a plyometric workout. It's called Power Sculpt. So it's 12 rounds of work, but the structure is a little bit different. It's challenging, but the basis is more plyometric. So it's a lot of explosive power we're working. You do see some martial arts moves in there, but it's still a lot of really great, just athletic, higher intensity moves. The other workout you're going to be alternating in is dynamic strength. So it's a resistance workout using just your body weight. And then we've got some really great, just pure core focused workouts. So in the calendar, we've laid it out really beautifully where you alternate between an MMA workout and either dynamic strength or power sculpt, which is the resistance workout, and the power plyometric workout. And then we stack the core workouts in there as well. So all of this said, I know it probably sounds like, oh my gosh, this program sounds really hard and challenging and this and that. Anyone can do it. And we have an amazing modifier. Her name is Jessica Talby. She's actually in the coach test group as we speak. And she just did a shoot for Beachbody On Demand last week. She did a 6-day shoot where they made a decision to actually, I don't know if you guys watched Carl last week when he came by our BOD shoot, but he showed a couple of laptops and he was showing the split screen where you'll have the option on Beachbody On Demand to just split your screen and stay with the modifier. So I think some of the other programs are doing that as well, but Jessica breaks it down in a way that literally anyone can do this program and take all the impact out of it. So you can keep one foot on the floor all time. You don't have to do any of the jumps. We have great options for the floor work as well. So yeah, it's if you like to work hard in workouts, this is definitely for you. For anyone that that loves insanity, T25, high intensity interval training, they're going to love this kind of workout. But at the same time, if you have people that you think are scared of working out like that, this is going to be an awesome introduction to it because there are so many levels and fitness level possibilities. As you progress through the program, it's going to, as your fitness progresses, it's actually not going to necessarily feel easier. You're just going to keep challenging yourself more and more because you can add explosive power, you can add speed, you can add rotation. So there are so many things we teach you how to get more out of the workouts as your fitness level progresses. So it's not something that you just do at 30 days and you're like, oh, I'm over it. Like, I've reached my max. You do it another 30 days and another 30 days, and it's just incredible what results you'll see from it. So obviously we had a lot of participants that in our test group that went 30 days, and then we had a lot that stayed on to 60 and then stayed on to 90. And you guys will see some of these, what happened to these guys and their physiques. And also, one of my favorite things ever with this program is not just the physical results that people got, and I really mean this, it's how they transformed from the inside out. Their confidence shot through the roof. They felt empowered and strong. And for me, like, that's something that I'm a huge advocate for, because fitness is not just, a goal that you meet after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. This is so much more about your mindset, and, life is what you think, and the decisions you make are going to change, your body and change your future. So it's literally about how you think, and it's so much about how you think about yourself. So this program is really starting to tap into that, the mental side of fitness. And that's one thing that I'm very, very proud of, and I'm excited for you guys to experience.
Absolutely. Love that. One of the questions that we had and then this might be in the FAQ, so I apologize if it is, but you talked about the body weight workouts. Do you need equipment?
No, zero equipment necessary. Yeah. We don't use any equipment in this program. There is, I know last week they're like, actually, don't forget to mention, because in our deluxe workouts, we do include an agility ladder. We wrote 2 workouts because in boxing and kickboxing, fighters work on, quick footwork and agility and balance. So you will receive an agility ladder and a couple workouts cater to the agility ladder in the deluxe workout. But yeah, zero equipment, which I love. And it's pretty cool to look at the test group, and Joel and I have been popping in and going live with those guys, and they're kind of blown away at how they feel. Just what we came up with for the body weight workout is pretty gnarly. It's awesome. Not even using equipment. So it's awesome.
That's great. You had talked about that it's not just geared for moms, even though you have new moms, and that a lot of it's with the kind of that fat burning. But if someone's looking to build muscle rather than lose fat, how would this meet their needs?
We definitely would classify this as a shredding program. So you will be creating lean muscle with it. It's fat burning. So yeah, to a certain extent, you're going to be building a little bit of muscle with body weight exercises. But I would say, to classify it, it's more of a fat burning and shredding program. So we're going to burn the layer on top so you can see the muscles underneath. Yeah.
Okay. It's not kind of your bulk up in that sense.
No, definitely not a bulk program.
Okay. One of the questions was if one of the options is to wear weighted gloves like you do in the Turbo series.
No. Yeah, we definitely, it's not needed in this program for one thing. And Turbo and Core to Force are so very completely different. The moves they do are not necessarily based on authentic martial arts. They're a little bit more dancey, and just to speak to that, I would say for one thing, it's not necessary. And also, since we are focusing on being as authentic as possible, meaning fully rotating your body, fully extending your arms through every single strike. For one example I could give, if you were wearing weighted gloves, you're holding weights in your hands, and you started rotating and speeding your movements up and extending your arms all the way into full strikes, it would actually be really bad for your joints. So that's one reason why we wouldn't recommend wearing weighted gloves. But I would say, again, as your fitness increases with this program, we will teach you how to get more out of your workout without adding any kind of weights in your hands.
Okay. And it sounds like there's different, like you had talked about the different numbers of rounds. Does that mean that the length of the workouts varies each day?
Yes, absolutely. So we do a warm up and a cool down with every workout, but yeah, we start with somewhere around, between 20 and 25 minutes. And then we end up going to around 46 minutes or so, depending on what workout we're talking about. But yes, so each round of work is 3 minutes long. So if we're talking, 6 rounds of 3 minutes, obviously that's 18 minutes. And then you add the cool down and the warm up in there. And then we go all the way up to 12 rounds. And then Joel and I shot, I don't know if you guys have followed along, but we actually shot 2 more workouts last week for Beachbody On Demand. So for those people who upgrade to do the workouts on BOD, you'll have an additional 6-round workout and an additional 9-round workout. So in the base kit, you would have 2 MMA speeds. So it's MMA speed and MMA speed 2.0. I actually probably shouldn't be talking about names. I think I was given that directive, so I'm not going to say anymore. But you'll have 2 6-round workouts, 2 9-round workouts, and 2 12-round MMA workouts, which is kind of cool. So after the first 30 days of the program, it's 30 days, but we want people to start mixing in the new kind of 2.0 workouts after 30 days because they are more challenging. So the sneak peek workout would be the first 6-round MMA workout. I think that's the one they're going to have everyone do, which is cool. So just know that when you experience that, we just shot a second workout to kind of replace that after people have gone through the program for 30 days. And we definitely up the ante, and it's a lot more physically challenging, but it's really fun. So we're stoked about that.
Right. You already anticipated my next question as far as how can coaches prepare to share this program about the program release. So you mentioned that you have the 6th round that's on Beachbody On Demand with the sneak peek.
Yeah, I think, you know what, guys, like, and if you do a little bit of research, you know, there's so many different genres of fitness out there. You know, there's dance, there's, you know, there's athletic training. Obviously, this is a program that incorporates mixed martial arts. I think a lot of people are scared of that. If you want to say kickboxing, I mean, it's a huge trend. It's still really highly trending in the gym world as well. And the thing that's really great about it that I think, you know, anyone can jump into and have fun with is it's high energy and it's really fun. You know, like, it's kind of crazy to think, and I remember this from my group fitness background, and I taught a lot of body combat, obviously. But I would see women sometimes at first they're kind of like, okay, you know, we're just punching the air here. We're like kicking and punching the air. And women are kind of like, oh, like, I don't have an aggressive bone in my body, but 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, they're like, oh, you know, they're the ones ripping it up more than anyone in the room. And you're like, whoa, she's got some serious anger to like let out, or it's crazy and cool after people really start moving to this, how much they start really enjoying themselves. So yeah, I would just say give it a try, because it's really fun. It's very fun to do. Yeah, it's high energy and it's fun.
So you keep talking about your high energy, and I know that often comes with you and Joel working together. And one of the questions is, though, are there going to be separate Joel and Jericho workouts, or are you working together for all the different tracks?
That's a great question. Yeah, actually, so, oh my gosh, this kind of, I won't go into the whole story, but so Joel and I, yeah, we work great together. We have so much fun, especially when we're teaching live. And I don't know if any of you guys have been a part of our Super Saturdays or anything like that, but we love teaching together. They love our dynamic together. So in the base kit, all of our workouts are taught together. So the bonus workouts that we came up with, and for the deluxe, the ladder workouts, Joel actually is leading those workouts, and I'm doing, there's an additional MMA workout in the deluxe kit. And it wasn't necessarily supposed to be like that right off the bat, but we had some craziness surrounding our shoot, and fun stuff always happens. And we ended up deciding to just shoot them solo, and it ended up being really fun. So it's kind of a good mix. But yeah, so base kit, we're together for every single workout. And then deluxe, there's a little variety of just Joel and just Jericho.
Okay. That's exciting. Everyone's kind of blowing up the chat with their excitement. And one of the questions is that, is there any way to still get in on a test group before the release date?
You guys, if I had $5 for every question about test group, I wish we could get everyone in, and I wish we had something to do with it. No, test group has been closed. So they just started the 3rd week, and I think there were 60 people chosen to be in it. And yeah, we got blown up on Facebook Messenger and Instagram from people wanting to be in the test group. So I'm like, it seriously made my heart melt that so many people wanted to be in it. And I wish we could just have like one giant one, and anyone that wanted to be in it could be in it. But I do know that they focused on, for one thing, one thing they were looking for is people that had about 30 pounds to lose. They were also looking for, they had a lot of different little requirements, but then they got to nominate people. And anyway, we unfortunately didn't get to be a part of choosing, but thank you for your interest.
Yeah, no, they're just, I think everyone's just so excited. It was one of those, I mean, I know just even checking my personal feeds, as soon as we were done with Summit, it was like, all right, we're excited about Country Heat, but we're also like, quarter fours, is it tomorrow? Because we're ready for that too.
Totally. I know. And you know what, to be honest, I feel like we've been those trainers that have kind of been like, we've been like creeping in the background for a while, and everyone's like, hey, when's your program come out? And we're like, what program? You know, hang on just one second. Sorry. My brother's calling me. Yeah, we were the only trainers that weren't attached to a program. So it was kind of we're the first ones in this situation where we're going out and doing Super Saturdays, but we're not representing a Beachbody program. So then they're like, oh my gosh, what are you going to teach? And we're like, we'll write a workout. And they're like, you guys can do that? And we're like, come on, guys. Like, so that's our jam, you know, teaching group fitness is what we do. But yeah, so, but we've had a lot of fun, by the way, like coming up with our leadership workout, our cruise workout. I don't know if any of you guys are part of that. So like, I hope we get to still do that and just come up with one-off workouts because yeah, we're down with choreography. But
I know that was one of the questions we had gotten because I know the playlist on his Spotify for the summit workout. Are there any kind of videos or do you guys
you know what?
Those other places them out? I
could totally take that one offline. I will say, and I need to ask Joel because we've gotten this question before. People always love our music. Spotify, I don't know if he made it public, but that playlist is on Spotify. We're actually going to be teaching that workout for the Team Cup next week in the office. So if there's a way, yeah, we could post it somewhere, or if anyone wants to private message, you guys can send us a private message on Facebook and we can send you the link to the Spotify playlist. But yeah, that was a really dope mix and we came up with an awesome workout. So absolutely, yeah. And actually, now that we're on that little music topic, I do want to address one thing because I remember at Summit when we were talking to Carl in the general session, someone asked a question like, you know, or heard us say that Quarter Force is not choreographed to music. And then this like whole stream of comments went nuts on Facebook and they're like, Quarter Force doesn't have any music at all. So that's actually not true. We're not choreographed to the music, meaning we're not, and 5, 6, 7, 8, jab, cross, hook, and 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're not actually on the beat, but they did choreograph music. We shot to a quiet set, so that was kind of new for me because I am a group fitness person. I'm a music person, but they composed music based on kind of like we put through a big list of songs that we love. Like you guys that work out with us know we love like Prodigy and we love like really, you know, awesome like Rihanna and chart topping stuff. Unfortunately, with music licensing, it's very expensive and it's very challenging to get the rights to use those songs, even to re-record, to have artists re-record original songs. Had a pretty awesome budget to have that happen, but unfortunately, our songs that we liked, we put through a list of like maybe, and the majority of them just got turned down by these big music companies. So we were totally bummed, but so we ended up going with composed music that were kind of like feel-alikes. So it captures the energy and the feel of the songs, the music that we like to move to and to work out to. But what's cool is since our structure is combination for 60 seconds, then conditioning spike for 30 seconds, then we go back to the combo and then back to the conditioning spike. It allowed us to kind of change the music as the intensity of the exercise changed. So if we're doing something that's kind of cool and groovy for like, you know, 60 seconds, and then we're like, go, 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 go for 30 seconds, they've changed the music kind of depending on what we're doing. So I love that they're still capturing the vibe of how we like to move to music. So I think you guys will enjoy it.
That's like, and that has so much with it, keeping the energy going. I have one quick question. Since you have some folks who worked out with you in Boston, did you use the same playlist for that, or was that something that was different?
Yes, Boston. So Boston, I did our summit workout. So Joel was in Toronto and I was in Boston, and we did, so that weekend directly following Nashville, we did the workout that we taught 3 different times for, I think we were in the ballroom with 3,000 people. So we used that workout. Yes. It started with Rihanna and Calvin Harris.
Yes. It was very fun. I loved doing that in Nashville. Oh, yes. The other question is, because we know when we're talking about plans and lifestyle changes, we don't just have fitness, we have nutrition as well. So is there a particular meal plan that goes with Quarter Force?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually, I'm so stoked that Beachbody is starting to kind of go with the color-coded container. It just makes it so user-friendly for people. So I was a little bummed that we don't actually get the physical containers in the base kit. You get them in the deluxe, but it's color coded. And I will say very excitedly that you get more food on this program. So the energy that, is expended is higher. They've taken that into account. So you get to actually add 2 and week 3, you add more calories in. So you add in some carbs, which is really exciting. Yeah.
Definitely love our carbs.
It's easy to follow, and it's all laid out very beautifully. It's just a little bit of carbs. So they brought in a little bit of carb cycling into Quarter Force.
Okay. I'm writing that down because I want to remember that. One of the questions, because I know when we had talked earlier in August, you were talking that you were still filming, and one question was, have you filmed the infomercial yet?
No, we have not. Yeah, no, we have not. We are, I think, going to be doing that next month, but we don't have a date just yet.
Okay, so it sounds like you're still on set, you're doing these calls, you're teaching live workouts, so much going on, and thank you. I mean, you bring that same positivity, and that's something that kind of, I know you have, a lot of commitments tonight, but before I think I've gotten them that are in the chat, but looking at kind of that positivity that you bring, is there any advice that you want to give in terms of that motivation of, as we're, starting a new program, it might be challenging. What advice would you give?
Absolutely. Gosh, the thing about it is support goes such a long way. For me, I come from the world of face-to-face, right? With teaching live people in front of me. And it's a whole new world for me, working with so many people that work out from home. If any of you guys are group fitness people, or you teach group fitness classes, or you've taken it, you understand the difference between it's really hard to walk out of a room when there's, 50 or 75 people around you. And the amount of accountability that's necessary for one person to actually push play and go the whole way through the workout. That's a different thing. And it does require a lot more discipline. And so I just think, for one thing, connection with people is something that goes so far, and everyone connects on different levels. So for those of you guys that work with different types of people, if you can go just the extra mile to get to know them just a little bit better, and get to know what motivates them, and what makes them tick. It's building a relationship, building a relationship and staying in touch with them to keep them motivated and keep them accountable. I think all of you guys, I see what everyone does on the challenge groups, and you guys putting your own lives out there and showing people what you do, and you leading by example. That motivates people so much. But also, people aren't perfect. People miss a day, and so it's not beating yourself up and letting people know that it's okay to be human. Like, I have days where I miss a workout. My life is crazy, and I've got a little guy running around that I'm trying to chase after, and like I was saying earlier, my life was so different before, and all I had to really worry about was myself. And it was like, oh, I got a shoot coming up in a couple weeks. I need to, drop a couple pounds and get leaned out for it. No big deal. It's totally different when you're breastfeeding and you're thinking about having to provide food and nutrition for another human being. So that's where, I've had a really awesome reality check becoming a mom. And I will say, I never knew how, the struggle is real, right? Moms, you guys are out there, it is not easy work what we do. It's a lot of juggling and a lot of just impromptu things that you're not expecting to happen. If your baby gets sick and you're just all of a sudden, you don't get a day off. So it's just being human and being positive about just how are you going to move forward if the day didn't go the way you thought it was going to go, or you let yourself go and, I've gained a couple pounds and I didn't want to. Okay, you have a choice to make. Are you going to do something about it, or are you going to be a victim and feel bad about it? So to me, it's just making the best of your situation. We can't always be positive. sometimes you have to like, you know, live in the moment and accept what you're going through, but move forward and just try and be the best you can every single day when you wake up. And yeah, it's just, yeah, with you guys and working with your teams, just being an example of what you want to see as well.
I appreciate that so much, because I think especially when you're keeping it real in that sense, that you show that you're also leading for us and for the challengers. And I think we're so excited the fact that, everything's on here, the talk leading up to this call. I know that some people can't get on because of time things, and I know they're going to be listening in. We just really appreciate it.
Well, Joel and I are that's another thing too. I'm sure we can jump on a call together next time. If you guys want to do another call, we can talk more about Core to Force. Yeah, we're totally down we're here for you guys. So whatever you need, we're so excited to work with all of you and to bring this program to you. We think you're going to love it. And if there's anything that we can do for you guys, let us know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Margie, for asking those questions. I can relate so much to you because I just had a baby 4 weeks ago, and I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
To get back into these workouts. And so we really appreciate your time, and we kind of have a fun way of saying thank you on Team Boom. So on the count of 3, I am going to unmute everybody.
Oh, this is bad.
Don't be scared. All right, 1, 2, 3. Boom!
I love it
so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Jericho.
Welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Ah.